Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is one of the most iconic games ever made, but after more than 20 years, it's definitely starting to show its age. The graphics are outdated, the animations feel stiff, and the gameplay just is not as smooth as the modern games. So today, I'm going to completely remaster San Andreas using 69 insane mods. So first up, we need to install some essential mods. These don't add new content to the game, but they do fix long-standing issues, like the infamous ultra-wide view problem and the mismatched frame rates that caused notorious mouse not working bug. So we all know Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is almost 22 years old. And at this point, it has started to show its age. As you can see, the ragdoll of the game is extremely basic and lacks euphoria completely. But luckily, there is a mod for that, which is called Euphoria RagDoll Physics.
Be a man, Holmes. Drop the pistol. Yes, a gun. Kick right.
The ragdoll mode completely transforms every gunfight and random encounter in the game because NPCs now react realistically to bullets, explosions, and collisions. No two fights ever play out the same way, and I completely forgot about running over pedestrians. It's actually the most satisfying part with this mod. Now there are some hilarious bugs with this mod, but they're completely acceptable.
Oh my god. Oh hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
If you have ever used parachute in the game, you might have seen when you land, CJ always does this weird animation where he seems to be falling from the parachute, right? Rockstar could have fixed it themselves, but anyways, modders did that, and now we have a realistic animation play when CJ lands using a parachute. By parachute, I remembered the pedestrians. If you see them in normal game, they're kinda repetitive and not doing anything rather than walking around or driving. With real pedestrian overhaul, this mod make NPCs way more reactive than before. Now they can be seen eating, drinking, carrying shopping bags, and you will also see some people whistling for taxi.
You're ready to blow.
Some pedestrians can be seen calling someone, and this random broken woman is just playing guitar in the middle of nowhere.
My God, you bored me. Go away.
It's such a small mod, but it makes the world so much more alive compared to the original. If you have asked me 15 years ago what feature I would love to have in the game, my answer to that would have been first person. But unfortunately, Rockstar brought first person only with GTA 5. But luckily, there is a first-person mod for San Andreas, which my opinion is one of the most immersive mods for the game. When playing with it, it just feels like it should have been there. And when you are flying a plane or a helicopter, it just feels like you are playing War Thunder instead of a game from 2004. And the next mod that goes hand in hand with first person experience is the manual Driveby mod. This mod allows you to shoot in a full 360 direction instead of being restricted to only left and right like in the original game. What makes it even more interesting is that you are no longer locked to SMGs only. You can use practically your entire inventory while driving. This completely changes how vehicle combat feels. Police chases in particular become far more dynamic because now you can freely aim behind you instead of waiting for them to catch up, just so you can fire to the sides. Speaking of weapons, if you look at the default models in San Andreas, they are low resolution and poor in quality. To fix that, I installed the next gen remastered Gunpack. This mod doesn't add new guns or replace them with different models. Instead, it upgrades the original weapons with higher quality textures while keeping that classic San Andreas vibe. And once the guns are visually remastered, we can't forget about the sounds. For that, I installed a sound remake mod that adds echoing and realistic audio effects to the weapons. Not just for guns, but also for explosions and rockets. The result is far more immersive experience. Next, I added recoil to the weapons, something completely missing from the original game. I also installed a reload mechanic, so now you can manually reload instead of waiting for the magazine to empty. The advanced aiming mod brings shoulder view aiming similar to PUBG or GTA 5, which looks far more immersive compared to the original system. Bullet holes, so now if you fire at walls or any surface, the trace will leave a bullet hole. And it's not limited to walls or rigid surfaces only, but to roads, cars, or every object in the game. This mod is special. It intensifies muzzle flash, explosions, and overall combat effects, making every encounter 10 times more chaotic and cinematic. Watch my fight with the police. You'll immediately see how much more intense it feels compared to the vanilla game. There is something off with this environment. It just feels very empty. For that purpose, I installed this mod called Project Props. There's now a lot more props across the streets. The alleyways are now completely full of people's scrap. Just take a look at this alleyway in the original game versus what I have added. It looks a lot more real. Now, the textures in the game have aged quite a lot. After all, it's a game from World War era. So, to address that, I went with RoSA Project Evolve, the best global retexture of San Andreas to the date. It sharpens and enhances almost every texture while preserving the original style. So, the game looks modern without losing its nostalgic charm. Just check out this before and after comparison. On top of that, I added Jefferson and Idlewood retexture. These are the neighborhoods where story begins. The reason I added this retexture is because combined with Project Props, these alleyways just look spectacular. But just wait, because with the graphics mode, the transformation becomes even more stunning. But that has to wait, so stick around to see that. I don't know if you're familiar with Rockstar's Manhunt title, but that game features some crazy finishers. As a fan of Manhunt series myself, I could not resist including those finishers in San Andreas.
No! God, please, no! No!
Now, if you attack someone from behind, CJ will perform these extreme violent takedowns straight out of Manhunt. The stories side missions add all the fun activities from Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories, since those games feature some of the best side content in the entire franchise. These include Firecopter, where you extinguishes fire in buildings, beach patrol, trash dash. Since we all know Rockstar could not license real life vehicles, for that I installed the 90s atmosphere vehicle pack, and this is easily one of the biggest visual upgrade in the entire remaster. It replaces every vehicle in the game with high quality models that stay faithful to the originals. Cars, bikes, trucks, trailers, trains, boats, helicopters, and even planes all have been completely overhauled while still fitting San Andreas' 1990s settings. But the real magic happens when you combine it with vehicle functions and improved vehicle features. One of them adds interactive car parts. So for example, the engine actually vibrates while running. And you can see the steering wheel moving realistically. The second mod adds working car lights. You can use turn lights, activate hazard lights, switch on fog lights, and even toggle high beams. They are small details, but together they make driving through San Andreas feel surprisingly immersive. The Drive mode brings GTA 4's driving mechanics into San Andreas. CJ now steals cars the way Nico does, hotwiring the engine instead of simply hopping in and driving. When you brake hard, CJ leans forward realistically, and you can even see him shifting gears. An immersive touch for players like me who enjoys manual driving. When you pull the handbrake, CJ can be seen actually pulling it up. Complete with sound effects. Pressing the horn now makes CJ press it physically instead of doing nothing. I also wanted driving itself to feel more riskier and immersive. That's where the vehicle damage mod comes in. This mod completely overhauls how cars deforms during crashes. Instead of the fairly basic damage model from the original game, vehicles now crumple much more realistically, almost like they did in GTA 4. I also added vehicle detach to push it even further. Now in the severe crashes, you can even lose the entire wheel. It adds a genuine sense of risk that simply wasn't there before, forcing you to think twice before floating the accelerator through every intersection. Parking space gives every safe house a parking spot in front of the house, just like in GTA 4. With the air traffic mod, planes and helicopters will fly all over San Andreas. Planes can be seen landing and taking off from the airport. Flights will take place going from one city into another. One thing that always annoyed me in San Andreas was switching clothes. If you wanted to buy something, you had to sit through those long, drawn-out animations before finally finding what you wanted.
Five minutes later.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the?
It was time consuming and unnecessary. To fix that, I installed a mod that lets you change clothes much faster, just like in GTA 5. Next, I added the Remastered CJ and CJ House Remastered mods, both enhancing the game in their own ways. Next, I had to choose the best vegetation mod, and I was confused between three options: Insanity Vegetation, Reality Beyond, and V-Style Vegetation. To bring San Andreas closer to GTA 5, I went with the V-Style Vegetation, since it not only captures the looks of GTA 5 but also offers better compatibility with other mods. And trust me, once the graphics mode is installed, this vegetation overhaul looks absolutely insane. So stick around because that's coming up in a few moments. Before jumping into the graphics mode, I decided to add a few smaller but impactful mods. First is enterable hidden interiors, which unlocks areas that were previously inaccessible in free roam. Then there's this gasoline mod which adds a fuel system to the game. Now you'll need to keep an eye on your tank before long journeys and refill at any closer gas station. I also added the skateboard, a feature originally found in the beta version but cut from the final game, which is now restored with mods. Another favorite from GTA 4 and 5 is the ability to surrender to cops instead of engaging in gunfights. Fortunately, that's now possible in San Andreas too.
What, you ran out of donuts?
And finally, the moment you all been waiting for, the graphics mod. I installed what I think is the best visual overhaul for San Andreas. Yes, we are talking about DirectX 3.0. It literally transforms San Andreas from looking like a 20 years old game into something that honestly beats Rockstar's own definitive edition. Even GTA 6 if you have seen the new downgrade screenshots of the game. But this mod goes far beyond just improving the graphics. It completely transformed the game's atmosphere with realistic water shaders, more detailed shadows, volumetric clouds, and even dynamic raindrops on vehicles that looks ultra realistic. No joke, after installing this mod, I spent hours just driving around, completely blown away at how good everything looked. And last but not least, I installed HD Roads mod. And as you can already tell, the game already looked twice as good just by updating the road textures. Now I'll shut my yap and let you enjoy the gameplay of what I have created. Don't forget to subscribe and bye.